When we get divorced, people often will tell us that time heals and that we have to grieve. But what happens with divorcing is that we are not just grieving a person, we're actually also grieving the future that died. We grieve that retirement cottage and the diamond anniversary, all that life you planned together. So I made this video for those of you that have this thought in your head from time to time. It will come back, or it might be often, where it's like, this was not supposed to happen. And it's like charged, the thought is charged. There's immediately this deep emotion there. If you have this going on, I want you to realize that you're not just sad. Because we think like, oh, I'm gonna be grieving, I'm gonna be sad. Yeah, sure, you're gonna be sad because there is a lot to grieve. But for many of us, it's also the betrayal that we feel. Many of my clients feel, on top of the sadness, feel this deep, profound betrayal of their life's blueprint. Today, I'm going to explain to you what exactly happens if you have this thought on a loop like that. What is this thought costing you? What is the deeper dynamic that's happening within you, and how that's keeping you stuck, and how to actually really move on and build a future that you really want to experience. Is that when we have this thought, we argue with reality, right? Because we're trying to make a sense of it all. But when we're trying to make a sense of it all, we are focused on what was. Because we're trying to find the answers. Because it's like, it wasn't supposed to happen like this, but why did it happen? It was so painful. Your mind is trying to figure it out to prevent something like this from happening again. And when we do this, it's like we get stuck in the past. When we do this, we have a tendency to like think about different situations over and over and over. We think about the fights that we had with our ex-husbands. We think about those like key situations throughout our marriages where it was really difficult, it was really, really hard, and you're like asking yourself, is this when he stopped loving me? Is this when he made a decision that we were done? Is this when he really gave up on us? You know, when we're doing this, we are completely focused on what happened, what was, and we are not in the present. It's like we get paralyzed. We have zero energy for what is here in front of us. Doing that comes with a really brutal cost that many of us don't realize. Every minute that you give to your past is a minute stolen from you today. So when you are paralyzed and focused on the past, you have zero energy to create what's happening here, to create this new life. When you're doing this, you're delaying and denying yourself healing. There's two things that are happening. On one hand, you are stuck in that old story, and on the other hand, you're also fighting with this reality here now. You're not accepting what is. So why do we do this, right? Why do we resist this new life? Many of you were stuck in really bad situations, not good marriages. And if I was to ask you when you were in your marriage, if you were happy, you'd tell me that you're not. Many of you would look at women that are single and are living their life, and you would actually feel jealous. It'd be like, oh, she has it good, you know? Like, gosh, I wish I had her life. She has all this freedom and now you have all that freedom, but you're resisting it. So let me explain now why this is happening, because there's this deeper dynamic. First of all, you have to understand that betrayal, even if there was a betrayal in the relationship, this specific dynamic here that I'll be talking about has not much to do with him. It's more about your relationship with yourself and your relationship with life. It's more about you trusting yourself to be able to create life that will not fall apart again. Like actually trusting the future, that it will be good future, and that it's worthy of investment, it's worthy of your energy. You know, it's like there was so much pain in the past. You look this way You're arguing with what's here, and this completely, you do not want to see this at all if this is the future. And you're doing this because you're afraid that what will happen here in the future is what happened in the past. So you're gonna, again, get married or get in a relationship with someone and invest all this time, energy, all that love, and then walk away broken-hearted. That this will not end well. Your future here will end the same way the past did. Like you're not trusting yourself to give yourself a better outcome. When we do this, we're afraid of dreaming about the future because we're afraid that that dream will be taken away too, and it will come with that pain. And that situation will be extremely painful too. And we just want to avoid pain, so we're not even thinking about the future. But when we do this, we completely resist plans. Notice how many big decisions have you made about your future? Are you making big decisions? Or are you resisting making plans? Selling the house, moving, like you're putting it all off, like these big necessary moves don't happen. Maybe looking for a new job or dating, right? You're just like, no, not doing it. 2 reasons. So one reason would be because you're afraid that if you invest yourself, it's all gonna fall apart again, and it's just, what's the point? And then another reason is that if you move on this way, it means that you are completely giving up on what was here. That blueprint, it's like you have this loyalty towards it, like this is how it was supposed to be. And so you're holding on to that. But then that results in stagnation because you're staying in limbo, you're living in limbo, right? This whole resistance, like you're resisting moving forward, and that's causing you to be in limbo. And then I'm gonna drop something else here, my loves. This is where you have to realize that you are the one that is punishing yourself by staying frozen. You're hoping that if you maybe stay frozen, that will somehow magically rewind the clock. Not gonna happen. So there's 2 things that we gotta do. 1, we need to make peace with what was there. Accept it and make peace with it. If you want to do that process correctly, you have to look for all the lessons that are hiding in that past so that you here can really feel like you got out of it what you needed, and you can peacefully put it away. If this was a lesson and the past is your handbook, it's like we gotta read that handbook. We can't be just stuck on one page, going over and over and over one page. No, we gotta look at the whole lesson, all of the pages, read all of it, and then we can put that handbook away, okay? And then we can start looking at what's happening here. What happens here needs to be met with sense of acceptance. Here's my life now. This is where I am at. These are the positive aspects of it. These are the negative aspects of it. This is what I'm proud of. This is what I'm ashamed of. All of this needs to be met with deep sense of acceptance. And then we can start looking at the future. That's when you can pivot and claim new vision. So many of my clients, when they come to me, the main question that they have going on in their head is this, like, why did this happen to me? It wasn't supposed to be like this, so why did this happen to me? You see, the problem with that question is you have no agency. It's like the world is the enemy and you are at the mercy of the world. And in this case, you're the victim. It's not a good question to be asking. If you're asking yourself this question, know that you are not in the right relationship with the world. What you want to be asking is, what's suddenly possible now for me? Like, what could I actually do? What could happen? So that's the main one, right? That's the main question that we ask. But then I will give you a few more. When you were married, what was that one compromise that you're like, okay, I'll compromise, but deep inside you always resented it a little bit? And now Now you are completely free to undo that. So maybe where you live, or how you spend your weekends, or maybe your career. If you had a spouse that was not supportive of your dreams and you kind of put them away because he was like, well, that's never gonna happen. Well, maybe it's time to prove him wrong. Another really good question is like, if you knew that you cannot fail, doesn't matter what you do, you cannot fail, what is that one big scary goal that you would actually start working on? Another thing is, sometimes when we become wives, we suppress parts of our identity. Like there are parts of us that we're just like, no, that's not acceptable. That's not what he wants. That's not what my in-laws want. That's not what the society expects of me. So I'm kind of like, this was me before him, and now this is me as a wife, right? Like I'm supposed to be a different person. What are the parts of your psyche, parts of your personality, these different qualities of your character that you had to kind of push away? Maybe it was your artistic side. Maybe you're like, yeah, no, that wasn't really encouraged, that wasn't really accepted. He thought that it's really weird. He preferred if I was just this like, you know, very predictable and safe and the same kind of a cookie cutter person. But there is this wild part inside of me, and I want to be able to express her, and I want to finally give her chance to not only be out there in the world, but to grow and give her expression. So what qualities do you want to intentionally bring back to your identity? Another good question is this: if you define success only on your happiness, what does that look like in this new chapter? If we like completely move away the external approval of other people, right? Completely move that away. And we're just like, if I am doing these things that make me happy, then I'm successful. What are those things that make you happy? Ultimately, girls, here's the truth. That old blueprint is gone. It's gone. Your old plan for your life, not gonna happen. The elements from it are gone. It still could be that there are some things that can still absolutely happen, right? So if you were to think about that future that you had planned with him, what are the things that you still want to take out of it and have in your future? Maybe you really wanted to travel a lot when you retire. Well, you would still get to travel. Why not? You might have to change the destinations a little bit and just go to the ones you really want to go to. But it's still possible for you. Here's the cool thing. This new blueprint that you can write, it's gonna be 100% yours. Your vision, your goals, your ideas, 100% your design. And it is very possible that this is the very first time in your life that you're doing it like that. Maybe this was never a thing. And so it feels really unfamiliar. Like, what are you talking about? I can just sit down and write my vision for my life? Yeah, yes, you can. This is the moment. The best thing about it is that with the experience of your past and knowing who you are today, you get to build that new future on real wisdom. And you don't have to compromise with anyone. For those of you that don't want to go deep into this work, I'm going to give you one simple thing that you could do today. What was it in your old life that you really wanted to do? And you maybe didn't even share this with your ex-husband. It was kind of like a secret of yours. You wanted to do it and you knew that like he wasn't into it, so you guys wouldn't do it together. What is it? Because now you get to reclaim it. Remember, my love, you are incredibly strong. Here's why. You survived the end of one life and the beginning of a new one. So now we can honor that survival story and build this like vibrant, amazing future. That will give you the sense of like, okay, the past is gone. It needs to be gone because now I have a chance to live this incredible life. This is the future. My new blueprint is the future that I was always supposed to be living. Tell me in the comments, What is that dream for you? What is it that you always wanted and now you get to do? Share it with us in the comments. Let's inspire each other. Girls, thank you so much for watching. Like this video, share it with your friends, those friends that have been through divorces and need some encouragement, need this extra push to move forward. Make sure to comment underneath the video. I'll talk to you next time.